Recapping another busy week of prep sports, it's High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Hour 1 in the books, now Hour 2 here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1 with the coach, Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. Alex Brooks on the other side of the glass for us. And it's a fun time of year, playoff basketball, and one of the best coaching jobs, I think, in the area, Ed, at Norfolk Christian, where Larry Ward has taken over the Ambassadors. 15-win program. They pulled some upsets this year, some quality wins over the likes of Norfolk Collegiate and Norfolk Academy and others, and maybe picking at the right time. The playoffs for the TCIS starts coming up on Tuesday. Hampton Roads Academy hosts the semis and the finals, but up first for Norfolk Christian, the 5 seed, they go to Bishop Sullivan, the 4 seed at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, and we say good morning to Coach Larry Ward. Coach, been a fun season, right?
It really has, Matt. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. Thank you for giving us some time this morning. Let's start off first, though. You were away from the coaching profession at the high school ranks for a few years, did a great job at Cape Henry for several seasons. You went to Nansemond Suffolk Academy last year and decided to head over to Norfolk Christian. What prompted you to make that decision, and how would you assess year 1 for you with the Ambassadors?
Matt, I had a great opportunity at Nansemond Suffolk, and people out in Suffolk are just wonderful, from the administration and TW and all the families. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was having a great time. I loved being back in coaching. Norfolk Christian, just out of the blue, called in July. Have a lot of friends over there and asked if I'd sit down and talk with them. And we sat down, and not only am I coaching over there, of course, but I'm helping to grow the school a little bit in different roles. And I'm excited about that. And the coaching is something that, when I got back in Nansemond Suffolk last year, I was like, golly day, I feel really good. You know, I love the competitiveness. I love practice. I love the games. And so I'm enjoying being at Norfolk Christian as well. It's a great environment for me.
Hey, Larry, Ed Young here.
Hey, Ed.
Hey, and I know you did a great job over Academy. I was just worried that you wouldn't get too many of our youngsters transferring over there, because the word out was, you know, you've done well. You really have done well in your career, and you're a decent guy. You're X and O, and again, how you treat kids. And I'm not blasting it out here saying you're recruiting kids. I'm just saying people could easily gravitate towards you, and you've done a great job with that in your career. So I'm glad you're out of my area, because you're a tough competitor. But when you go over to Christian, now you say obviously you're doing some other things in there and you're building that program. You're a veteran guy that's been around. You've been a winner, and you see what's going on in that situation. I look at your league, the playoffs that are coming on, and I don't even know why they seed you guys in your. Everybody is good, and all the matchups are dangerous. Because we always talk about, watch this lower seed here and there, but in your conference, I really think reality is it's true that even your lowest seed can do something there. Is there a particular reason why that is, that more so than other places? I ask you this because you've been around, you've been in the privates, you've been in the publics. What's up with that?
Well, first of all, I've never recruited anybody. I got to tell you that. But as an independent school, the coaches would tell you our job is to attract the student athletes, and that is what we always try to do. But I pride myself in the relationships that I have with other coaches, and if something ever comes about with a kid that's looking at our school or some other school, I've always been up front with the coaches and administration about what's going on. But having said that, this conference is tough. I mean, if you look across the state at the independent schools and at the various conferences, I think you'll find that the Tidewater Conference from top to bottom is second to none. I mean, every night you have to be ready to play. You got some special players in the league. You got some coaches, the coaches that know what they're doing. I mean, look at the background of Junior and Billy Barnes, and they're good, and they've got good talent. So it's been a lot of fun. We've gotten a couple of nice breaks this year, playing some teams at home. Home court matters a lot which is going to make it very, very difficult for us on Tuesday night over at Catholic. But I think we're up to the challenge, and we'll see where it goes. But from even collegiate with Battle there, I mean, he's such a player. He's a special player. And then Mark, of course, at Norfolk Academy. Then you go right on down the line. They're really good from top to bottom. So it's going to be an interesting tournament. And then the following week we roll into the state.
Hey, and Larry, let me just say this before you get into your team. Let me reiterate. I'm not saying
I know you're not
recruiting. I'm saying based on your background as a coach and a person, you do one heck of a job. Always have. And I remember when you got out of coaching, if I'm not mistaken, I even told you, make sure it's a short refresher because we need guys like you back in the business. So I want to reiterate that out there in case somebody maybe takes that wrong.
No, I listen. We have a great relationship. You know that from years and years back. I don't worry about all that. When I got back into coaching in 1997, I remember Mike Head told me, he goes, "Man, it's your job in an independent school to attract the best student athletes that you can," and that's what we try to do. I've been very, very fortunate at Cape Henry to have some really special players and a special time there. And Mark Hall's doing a fabulous job there now and following my small footprints. So I am very happy for them. I wish them nothing but the best. And my job right now is to concentrate on Norfolk Christian, changing that mindset over there and continue building on. They've had some good years, but we want to be really consistent year in and year out. And I think we're on track to do that.
Now, let's talk. You guys are 15-7. So
right.
Now get us up to date on your top guys, anybody you want to mention, and also highlight maybe some kids that have a chance to play next level. And also, I'm always interested in being a coach myself. Who is that one kid that maybe beginning of the year you weren't real sure was going to do something and has been, like a godsend for you, who doesn't maybe a lot of other people understand what he does, but in those practice situations, games, he is the guy.
Yeah, and there's we're not very deep, and our starting five is more like four guards and a small forward. So they all play together. They all believe in each other. We've shot more threes this year than I've ever thought we would. I was talking to somebody that from years ago, Randy Peel, who's one of my best friends. And
yes, good guy.
He said, yeah, he's a great guy. He knows more basketball than I've ever thought about knowing. He told me you got to play fast. You're going to have to do something you don't really like to do, and that is shoot the three. And so I tell the guys, if you shoot a three, you're fine. If you miss, shoot a 16-footer, you're coming out. And we've had some really good nights of shooting a three. We've got our sophomore is Eli Coley, who's been really, really a nice surprise. He's probably our most consistent scorer, and he can shoot the three ball. We've got Caleb Hunt runs the point for us, quarterback on the football team. Tough kid, plays really stout defense for us. I got Kayshawn Ward, who is pretty special player, can handle the basketball and really just takes care of the team night in and night out. DJ Cheers is averaging about 15 points a game for us. Has a scorer's mentality, can get to the hole and create some opportunities for others. So, and then Malik Tompkins is our small forward who is really his best basketball is ahead of him. He can shoot the three. It's been a little bit tough on him. He's probably not used to having someone on him like I have been. But he's really had some big games for us, hit some big shots. So I'm very pleased with him as well.
Chatting with Larry Ward. He's the head boys basketball coach at Norfolk Christian. Our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. In that gauntlet of the TCIS tournament that begins next week, they are the number 5 seed traveling the number 4 seed Bishop Sullivan on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. If they win there, they'll move on to the semifinals on Friday over at HRA. It's ESPN Radio 94.1, Ed.
Larry, as you were talking, obviously, our crack statistical staff looked up some things. Your team nearly attempted 500 threes. That sound right?
Well, we've averaged about 25 a game, and we've played pretty close.
That's
to
close
that.
then.
Hey, I wish we made more, but we're going to have to live and die with that. Our matchups in our league, as you know, with the big guys that we have, and our matchup with Cape Henry, with Rucker. I mean, we don't match up with them. So, and we led them by 6 at half at their place on Tuesday night before we ran out of gas and stopped making shots. But you look at your team and you say, this is how we have to play in order to beat the top 5 teams that we're going to play. The other teams will take care of themselves. But Hal Nunley used to tell me all the time, he said, take a look at your team and determine what do you have to do to beat the top 5 teams. And then the rest of the season should take care of itself. And so that's what we've done. So we're playing fast. We're shooting the 3. I wish we could just play straight up man-to-man and match up with people, but we can't. So we have to junk it up a little bit, show them different looks, and hope for the best.
Now, looking at Bishop Sullivan coming up here, Coach, and you mentioned the big men in your league. It's incredible with Mark Williams, one of the best juniors in the nation, and DeJour Rucker at Cape Henry, who's going to Marshall. And there's also some good wings and guards as well. But they got a big man in Keenan Sarvon going to St. Joseph's, also a talented guard, and Sean Walker Jr. Headed to Siena. How did the first meeting go this year, regular season, and how much do things change? I mean, certainly your team is a 3-point shooting team first and foremost, but how much do things change in your eyes in preparation and game plan from the regular season meetings to now?
Hopefully the outcome would be a little bit better. We went over there and we fell behind early with them, and then we had a chance in the late in the third. We cut it to I think 5, and then and what we do sometimes is turn the ball over just way too much, and so we had consecutive turnovers. They hit some threes, leaked out and got an easy bucket, and then it was pretty much over. And I think the final score was maybe 12. We have to control the ball a lot better. We have to take care of it and not turn it over. Golly day, I think just turnovers will kill you, and as everyone knows. But we're excited for the matchup. We're excited to be a 5 seed in this league, and give or take a game or two, we could have been a little bit higher. We really wanted that home seed, that home, playing at home. We wanted one of the top 4 seeds. We didn't get it, so we got to go to work and go play over there on Tuesday night and play a little bit better than we did in the past. And I think we can. And we had a great practice yesterday. Go back in the gym Monday, and I think we'll be ready to play. We better be.
Well, let me ask you this. Get us updated, educated, if you will, on the private school state tournament. We have an idea, of course, of public 1 through 6 regions and whatever divisions. You get out of the TCIS. What comes up next? And I do know that, if I'm not mistaken, the private schools in the state there's Division 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
So educate us on all that, please.
What they do is, based on your enrollment, starting in September 1 when you open school, depends on whether you're Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3. We are in Division 2 based on our enrollment for the upper school. If you look at Division 1, some of those schools up north they're powerhouses, all the 6, and so I think it's very fair the way they work it. And so what we would do, I think we have 12 seeds. The top 4 get the first bye, and then 5 host 12, and so forth, 6, 11, and so forth. After that, on Tuesday, you go again to the top seed. On Thursday, the higher seed, and then on Friday and Saturday, is when you go to the semifinals in Petersburg. So that's how it works at our level. And I got to tell you, if you look, I said about the conference, but if you look at the schools that are in the state that are independent schools, it's the competition is real. It's very, very solid. Coaching is great. So, to win a state tournament at that time it would feel really great for everybody. But we're a little ways away from that.
Now,
but there are some really, really good teams. But it's a fun time of year, and it's what you play for. It's what you work for, and it's why the off season is so important for everyone.
So in your conference play, you'll play right through the higher seeds. All the games are higher seeds. But then when you the conference goes to Hampton Roads on Friday and Saturday. So, gotcha.
Yeah, so we play the first round at the higher seed, and then we go to Hampton Roads, and then we host it from time to time as well at Norfolk Christian because of the capacity of the gym.
I was about to say it alters pretty much from year to year between Christian and HRA for the TCIS, right?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Yeah. So
we're
excited. It's why you work hard. It's what the kids. It's why you tell them in the off season that you got to get in the gym, you got to do the right things, and at this point in time of the year, it gets very exciting for everyone, for all of our families, our school community, and we want to make them very proud.
Well, doing a heck of a job in a league full of talented athletes and terrific coaches. Larry Ward, our guest here from Norfolk Christian. They take on Bishop Sullivan at Bishop Sullivan Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the TCIS tournament. They win. They move on to the semifinals going on over at HRA on Friday and the finals to follow on Saturday. Coach, thank you so much for the time today. We wish you all the best on Tuesday and throughout the postseason, all right?
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. You guys take care, and thanks for all you do, okay?
Hey, Larry, good talking to you, good man, and best of luck to you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Larry Ward, our guest here from Norfolk Christian on ESPN Radio 94.1. It's high school sports talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com. And, Ed, you can make a case to that league before we hit a break. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you could make a case that all the lower seeds could win. I mean, you could make an argument that Norfolk Collegiate wins at Cape Henry. I'm not saying that they will. You could make a case that Norfolk Academy beats Walsingham. They have Mark Williams. Walsingham's got some good guards. Billy Barnes has with Jalen Stewart, Marcus Banks. Nasman Suffolk winning at Stewart. That was a relatively close game, I think, the last time. Not a shocker if Chris Furman's team wins over there. And then Norfolk Christian at Bishop Sullivan. As you heard, if his team is hot from long distance, they're averaging per game, it looks like, I believe it is, those 3-point numbers again, if I have my math right, 167 makes for the year. That's 8 for 22 per game, basically, with their threes made an attempt. A lot of teams would take that, that's public or private.
Not bad shooting.
Yeah.
A couple things. Going back to the conference,
mm-hmm.
those top four are son of a guns.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at that first round, it's like any team. Now, when you get into that second round, those top four, that's why they're the top four. But still, I wouldn't put a whole lot against any of those teams that win that first night. They go into that second round. As far as the threes, Larry has a good idea. Do what you do. Do what you can do. If you can shoot the threes, a lot of people are still old-fashioned that, no, you shooting 30% from three is horrible. 30% from three is better than 44% from two.
For high school teams.
Yeah, you got to understand that. And the three-point shot's the easiest shot to get off. Now, it's not a throw. Some schools, they think they want to fire up a bunch of threes. They're kind of basically thrown up threes because they're not really three-point shooters. But if you develop three-point shooters, kids develop that shot, it's a strong weapon. Why do you think they put the three-point line in to begin with back in the day? It's to even out the game in terms of back in the day when the bigs were taking over, but to have those guards that could shoot that shot, give them an extra point for a little bit further out. I don't see any problem with it. I've just never been blessed with great shooting teams that we'll shoot a lot of threes. Once I get a squad like that, we put them up. If you can shoot that 33% from three, put them up. I don't have any problem with that. And we try to teach our kids, even the big kids, so to speak, shoot the three, because a lot of coaches will go nuts when they see a big kid shooting threes in practice. The big kids are your strongest kids. They can shoot threes. Well, we said, they should be inside battling. We got to understand this day and age is a little different. Big kids are not going to be inside battling for the most part. They want to play perimeter. You've got to develop all kids' perimeter games, ball handling skills, shooting skills. It's the basics. How can you tell a kid not to do something that's natural to the game? It's detrimental to your success.
More to do here on High School Sports Talk. Give us a call at 757-687-9494. Call us at 757-687-9494. We will have interviews, we believe, coming up in a bit with James Daniel of Phoebus as well as Bobby Wolfe of Cox. And we'll tell you what today's national day it is. It's a national something day. And it might have to do with Ed Young. Coming up next on ESPN Radio 94.1. If you're interested in an accent, you call Larry King at 757-INJURED here on ESPN Radio 94.1 with the coach, Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. We thank Larry Ward of Norfolk Christian for coming on the program, as well as Vic Rosado, Lansdowne Girls, for joining us this morning as well. We'll be hearing some interviews with James Daniel of Phoebus and Bobby Wolfe of Cox in just a bit. We'll also make picks for the region boys basketball tourneys. We'll probably save the girls a little bit for next week for the picks. We might pick a winner for each bracket, though. And Ed will not pick Region 5A due to his responsibility / obligation of coaching in it. So he'll leave 5A to be picked to me. He can pick 5B, 5C, and 5D, though.
I'll do 5A.
You'll do what?
Green Run and Maury.
Oh, you are picking. So you right there, you're picking Green Run and Maury to meet in the region championship. And who wins the region?
I did say this is Green Run's here, didn't I?
You did. Well, I mean, you're subject to change your mind.
I'm going to leave
your mind a lot.
I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay.
Green Run and Maury.
So you'll reconvene next Saturday and see.
We'll
where things
reconvene
are.
next Saturday.
All right. You might be playing next Saturday. If you're playing next Saturday, will you be here, or will you be busy trying out your 2,543 different suits that you have? Is that the right number, or is it 2,544 now? Did you buy a new one?
I wish I had that many. That's a lot of money. No,
You're not poor. Don't go there. I don't want to hear that, Matt. But go ahead.
If you would see my bank account.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm on my 9th loan.
9th?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm trying to keep my head above water.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
How are you here right now with 9 loans? That's another story another time. But let's continue forward.
Yeah. And I almost lost my car this week, too. So.
Oh, you got to give someone a shout-out for that, right?
Yeah, I got to give a shout-out. Mike Allen.
The former Norfolk Christian basketball coach. He's now
the
where?
AD at the Apprentice School.
Good man.
I go watch them play Regent University. I've got a kid playing for Regent, so I want to go up and watch
that's right up the street.
Yep. I went
nice. Didn't invite me to go eat after the game, but that's all right.
No, it was at the Apprentice School.
Okay.
So I didn't have time to pick you up, so I can't.
Okay, I got you.
So I go to the game. I park in this spot. I see this dude getting out of a car. I say, hey, you allowed to park? He goes, I don't know, man. I'm parking here. It looks like everybody else is. So I park. Now, it's pitch black where I'm parked at.
That's never a good thing.
No, that's not good.
It's pitch black.
So anyways, the game's over. I come out. I said, oh, I thought my car was right here. So I hit the panic button on the car.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, get ready for uh-oh. Nothing beeps. So I said, well, okay, well, maybe the battery's dead. All of a sudden, there's no car.
Oh,
no car. There was only about 12 cars parked. I was at no car. So I go back in the building, Mike, and I talked to Mike before the game. I say, Mike, I don't know if my car was stolen or what. He says, what? I said, my car ain't out there. So he comes out with me. He sees where I parked. He said, oh, Ed, this is private parking. I said, well, where's the sign for that? We take a walk down the street. The sign is like a block away. And I came in from the other side, so I never saw the sign. Now, why they don't put them on both ends, it's beyond me. But it says towing. Well, the towing enforced. There was no warning. They didn't come into the game and say, hey, whoever has this such car, you're getting ready to get towed, which you usually hear. So they just tow it. So I said, it got towed. We find a number. I call. Yeah, we got that car. Well, how am I getting it back? Well, you need $120. I said, wait a minute, hold on. $120 for my car. Well, that's the rule. I said, but I was never warned. He said, what do you mean warned? It said, didn't you see the sign that says, towaway zone? So anyways, I can't go into further what we talked about right there because it's a family show.
Okay.
I go back and I say, Mike, I got a hold of the person, my car, here's where my car is. 2 things. I don't have a ride to go get my car, and I don't have the money because it has to be cash.
Well, you could have called Uber or Lyft.
No, I'm not calling them.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, Mike says, hey, look, I'm on my way home. You need a ride? I said, sure, but I got to make a couple stops. So
that
we
was
did.
Nice of him.
It was tremendous because we had to go into Hampton to find a BB&T to get the money, and then ride back to Newport News, which was nowhere near the apprentice school, to get the car. And it's raining. and I'm hot as it is. So Mike says, "Hey, man, look, I'll take you over." We waited about 20 minutes for the guy to show up. He does show up. I go get my car. Mike takes off. So Mike Allen, big savior for the first time in my life, I get a car towed. Everywhere I've ever been, I always hear people's announcements. Hey, there's about to be towed. They'll give you a chance to go get your car. I got no chance. They just towed the doggone thing, and I had to pay $120, which I don't budget. I'm a budget guy.
So that's one of the 9 loans. Okay,
that's one of the other loans.
Okay.
That's one of the smaller loans. So
I'm glad I didn't ride with you because I would have been hot to trot if I left my bag in your car.
Yeah, you would have been, as they say, messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got my car towed, and then it was about 9:10. Was that Wednesday night? I didn't get home till about 11:45.
Ooh.
So at least to say, I was not a happy camper.
Yeah, good thing he didn't invite you.
Yeah, I would have
been real mad.
I would have been all on social media blasting you instead of praising you like I did
because
this week.
you're the good friend you are.
I know, exactly. And well, it's a good thing you didn't have a game either. That'd have been really bad. Like the night before, night after, you'd really been, I think, out of whack for that mentally.
And thank God for Mike Allen because again, like I said, I would have had to call Uber and Lyft, but it's. Ooh, I don't want to have to go through that again.
Hey, it's National Do a Grouch a Favor Day. So you know what I did, Alex? I bought this Grouch a Mountain Dew. Nice of me to do. I did him a favor.
I have never been a grouch. Okay,
Yeah,
get those 5 people the heck out of here because those people don't know me. I dare somebody to call.
Never been a grouch.
Call here. What is it? 687-9494.
Please. The lines. Alex don't have time to answer that many phone calls. We don't have enough time.
And tell somebody that I've been a grouch, but give the
reason?
example why. Give me a chance to apologize.
We get off at noon. We don't have enough time for that. You being a grouch.
I'm calm. I'm a good person. Now, I would say this.
Calm. Okay.
Those people got to leave. I will say this. Early morning, do not be around me. I am not a morning person.
Exactly.
But there's nobody around me.
What time is it?
That's up till 9 o'clock.
Oh, so you're a grouch pre 9 a.m., but not post 9 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nobody around, so I'm okay with that.
Play that laugh track again. That's funny. By the way, they have a Grouch Power Index I see on ESPN College Game Day, and it's listed. They had, well, you missed it a few minutes ago. Jay Billis, Oscar the Grouch, Ron Swanson, and Walter Matthau. Who's the biggest grouch of those 4? I'm thinking Walter Matthau, grumpy old men's here,
Could be. I like Walter Matthau. Yeah. Could be.
I'm going the Grouch. He's literally named the Grouch. He's got another one.
Oscar the Grouch?
Yeah, but he's not real.
Oh, he's real.
He's
we got kids listening. You've now disappointed them.
Yeah. And speaking of kids, the next time I wear my red suit, I wear my red suit for senior night.
Oh, my gosh. They about blinded everybody again.
The
with
red
that red
suit.
Please put that red suit
3 kids gave me a Christmas list. 2 kids want to know what happened to my white beard.
And they left your cookies.
And then one person said, "Hey, mister, where did you put the reindeer?" You see, I'm getting these young kids now. Somebody got to learn these kids right.
There's the cookies in the break room if you're interested.
Oh, okay. They didn't give you any Santa cookies?
I don't have my red suit.
Oh. Well, I mean, they didn't, think you were Santa and bring you cookies.
No, but like I said, 3 kids gave me a Christmas list.
Oh, did you keep it? Or did you get rid of it?
Crumbled up and threw it away. I told them there's no such thing as Santa.
Oh, my gosh. Why would you say such a thing?
Because them kids are being smart on purpose.
That's horrible. There is 2. Don't say that. You're going to make me cry during this thing. We have an interview with, I believe, James Daniel of the Phoebus Phantoms. And he is trying to get a state championship that he can have sitting right there by his Christmas tree come December. They beat Booker T last night, and here's what he told us on ESPN Radio 94.1. All right, I'm here with Phoebus head basketball coach James Daniel. His Phantoms win at 82-59 to move to 21-2 overall here in the regional playoff quarterfinals. Moving on to the semifinals, coach, where you'll get either Lakeland or Petersburg. But early on, it was kind of a feeling out process, and I could see a lot of times from your body language you weren't pleased. What were you not liking early on from the guys, even though you had a lead?
I mean, too many turnovers, lack of execution. I mean, we shooting threes, and I think we had the best 3, 4, and 5 in the state combination going inside and just counting them out and, and applying our pressure. We wasn't doing none of that. We were just kind of like going through the motions, but I knew the guys was kind of nervous also. Some of them, this is their first playoff run, to include Kyrie Temple.
Yeah, and with having that great front line with Temple, Leach, Adrian Payton inside, arguably the best front line for any division in the state, Is it a good thing to win a game where they don't play their best, you have some foul trouble and some sloppiness, or is that, for you as a coach, a concern this could be something that creates a habit for the next round?
Well, them three I'm not concerned with.
Okay.
It's my backcourt. I was really pleased with Mayer and Shakir tonight. I thought they matured a lot. I thought they got better. Mm-hmm. Although we didn't play good in other areas, I'm not worried about those three. They're consistent for us on a daily basis. And they'll rebound, and they'll play better, and they'll play harder. I just think it was their first playoff game, and I just think the nerves got to them a little bit early on.
Yeah, you win a game where there's literally in the ball game 57 turnovers. You had 25 of them, they had 32. But the plus to that, though it's viewed as a sloppy game, you have 8 different guys get a steal. You force 32 of them. And here's maybe a season high 8 steals for him?
Oh, no. Career high probably ever. He's really improved on the defensive end, understanding our system, understanding how we play gap play, next available. And I'm just happy for the young man that he's now reaching a peak period, which we really need him to.
Yeah, he's got to be one of those X-Factor type guys for the playoffs. 2 more for you. Booker T. Washington, Darren Sinlin's team won a state title back in 2006. They're going to play hard. They've beaten a couple of Peninsula teams this year, and Kickingham and Hampton. What was kind of the things you outlined going in, knowing that this could be a dogfight to the end?
Well, I went back to 2011 when we played him in his scope. Coach Saunders, he's a great coach. Always kids played extremely hard. They remind me of us. Yeah. So it's just a will. And so I'm telling the boys all week, hey, listen, they're coming in here to play to win. And, I thought the boys overall responded.
Yeah. Yes. That was a great game at the scope that you won to go to states.
Yes.
Of course, one of your former Phantoms in the building tonight from the NBA, and Troy Williams on the All-Star break. Couple more for you. To get this game and play as well as you did defensively and keep them off the foul line until the third quarter, how pleased were you that you defensively didn't have as many lapses as the offensive game?
Well, defense is going to win championships. At the end of the day, when you're making teams work for buckets and you're not giving up and you're not fouling, you got a chance to win. And every night we want to do that. And we want to, try to get teams out of their comfort zone just a little bit more than what they're used to.
We're used to the Kyrie Temple dunk show. Tonight, big body, Leach had 4 powerful jams. Does he kind of, at times, as good as he's been for your program, sort of get forgotten about because of the plays that Kyrie makes? You think scouting teams, maybe not Booker T tonight, but they forget about what Leach does? Or?
Well, I'm looking at some of the scores that some of the coaches rated big body in reference to, that's what we call him.
How do you pronounce her name? Is it Dateon?
Dateon.
Okay.
Leach. And I'm like, he's like one of the best big men in the league. If he wasn't playing with Kyrie, he would be battling against Kyrie every night. I mean, to be honest, the last 4 to 5 games, he's been nicked up. So his legs hasn't been under him. I mean, we played War here. I think he only played like 8 minutes. And we've been kind of like getting him going, therapy, getting him treatment. Tonight, he came back. Yeah, he looked good.
Well, if he's about 6'8" instead of what he is height-wise, he's probably got about a dozen plus scholarships.
Oh, absolutely.
Division I. Last one for you. You'll get either Lakeland or Petersburg. How big is this game? I don't know when it's that game that you punch your ticket. You want to win a regional title too, but you kind of exhale that you're in the state tournament soon you get it.
Well, this next game is critical. And we both are the worthy teams in reference to Lakeland and Petersburg. I mean, you just got to come and just face it like we face Booker T. One game at a time, and we got to get them. Give everything we got because they're going to be quality teams with quality coaches.
But whoever it is, they got to come here to Phoebus High School. They get done the night over Booker T. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So that was Phoebus basketball coach James Daniel with us after last night's 82-59 opening round region playoff win over Booker T. Washington. It's High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com with the coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. Ed, before we go to break, Phoebus getting Petersburg next. Petersburg's got a name and a tradition. They've kind of fallen off the last few years. Can make kind of a lot of similarities and comparisons to almost your program where great tradition, pride, had a couple rough years. Now they're back in the mix. Going to Phoebus, though, not going to be an easy task. And Phoebus finding a way to win with Temple being in foul trouble, not their best of games. Are we looking at that Phoebus-John Marshall collision course, or do you see something keeping one of them from getting there?
I really don't. I respect Petersburg and that tradition back in Bill Lawson days. Rick, I followed up in there. Some great lineage of coaches. Phoebus, another level. I've saw some film on them also, and they're just strong. They're big. They're quick. They shoot it. They can defend you different ways. They're battle-tested. Petersburg is going to be very similar to what the Peninsula District is. Phoebus has handled Peninsula District. And of course, the fan in me, basketball fan. I want to see Phoebus in March. I wish that was a state title game matchup.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if that game was at Hampton U? I don't know if it will be or can be. I'm not sure what Hampton's men's and women's basketball schedules, but we've done a couple of those games on the NFHS network. So we'll see. That would be I think likely a state semifinal that Monday or Tuesday in early March should those two hook up and play. And it might go to Phoebus hosting that game this year, whether it be in their gym or nearby. I think that's a game that has to be at a bigger facility, me personally, but that's one thing I've not gotten clarification on because people have been asking me, and I know this is no fault to anyone because certainly it's a group effort with regional administrators and the VHSL and also having the access to facilities. You know, in the past we've had some state quarterfinals and semifinal games at Old Dominion and at Hampton.
The way it should be.
Well, it should be, but remember, a lot of the administrators, their hands are tied because, you know, the men or women for those respective college basketball programs could have a game there and that facility may not be available. And I'm not even sure how the terms of those deals work, you know. Right. Anyways, we're not privy to that, nor should be. But it would be neat to see them in a college facility, big facility. You have that scope, which I think is great for Region 6A and 5A here. But so people that are continuing to ask us, folks, we won't know, and I don't think they'll know until probably the week leading up to the state tournament where those semis and quarters will be. It'll likely be, I would tell you, I think at high school gyms nearby, viewed as a neutral gym. Like remember last year, for example, Salem and Highland Springs and 5 met at Lancetown, and it could vary for 6 and 4 different places. I know Kellum was hosting a site for a couple of those. It's a big gym. It's a great spot for it. So just keep it tuned to your outlets. We'll have it on HS Sports Talk 941 and ESPN Radio 941, VirginiaPreps.com, and on my Twitter feed at Hatfield Sports. One more segment to go. We'll make some picks, and we'll hear from Bobby Wolfe of the Cox Falcons. Give us a call. You have a couple minutes left to do so at 757-687-9494. And you're home for high school sports. It's ESPN Radio 94.1.
Now back to high school sports talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. Presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Here's Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Welcome back to High School Sports Talk here Saturday morning, ESPN Radio 94.1. I'm one of the hosts, Coach Ed Young, Nansemond River Warriors, and my co-host, Matt Hatfield, had the opportunity to catch up with Bobby Wolfe of Cox High School after his team's win over Kellum. Let's hear what Matt had to say along with Coach Wolfe.
All right, I'm here with Cox head basketball coach Bobby Wolfe. His Falcons win it tonight at Haskell's Castle at Kellum High School, 62-53 to finish the regular season, 17-3 overall. Coach, Cox, Kellum, it's kind of a big-time rivalry game. You throw the records out the window when you get together, and you end up sweeping the regular season series, which is probably one of the first times you guys have done that, right?
I think we did last year, too.
But it's really
yeah. It's not something that happens all the time, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But we'll take it.
Start out of the game 9 of 14 in the first quarter from the field, and I noticed all 5 of your starters, the big 3 for you, and Kayvon James, Tavion Robinson, Jordan Lewis, as well as Deshaun Creighton and South Trumbull all scored for you. Were you pleased with how the game started?
Yeah, and that's one of the things. We almost have 4 guys averaging double digits. So, I mean, guys can score for us, and they add in, the guys look for them. Some good things have happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Game got a little close second quarter. What did you guys tell them at halftime as you're leading it by a count of 30-24, knowing that, this could kind of get away from us and we might lose a home game for the first round?
Yeah, well, Kellum at home, we knew they were going to throw a punch, and they did, and they cut it to 6. And so I told them the first 3 minutes are key to start that third quarter. I think the big thing defensively, we did a good job on Josh. He didn't score in the third quarter, and that's basically helped us. That was the big turning point, I think. Keeping him as limited as possible because he's such a great player.
You didn't have your typical outside shooting, like a 3 of 15 from deep. Kayvon James gets 15, still impacts the game, though not shoot great. Tavion Robinson, though, now that he's kind of back in basketball mode, 18 points, making plays defensively, and even some of the passes and things he did without the ball were impressive.
Yeah, he adds a different aspect to the game, and when he's in basketball mode mentally, he's a tough player. Yeah. Tough player. And it just helps our other guards. It helps Jordan. It creates stuff for Jordan. Jordan got some nice stuff driving to the hole, too, because Tavion was able to create so much and opened up some stuff for KJ.
You've been around the game long enough to know that high school basketball is a guard game. Basketball in general is a guard game, especially nowadays when at the college or pro level. But when people walk in the gym, you don't have that imposing type of size. I mean, inside, Deshaun Creighton and Jai Rudd are playing well for undersized posts.
Yeah.
Do you guys kind of relish knowing that people might sleep on the fact that you're not the biggest of teams?
Yeah, I think so, and they relish in it. They step up and Sean's had some huge games for us. He scored 18 one at a time with 12 rebounds, a few blocks. So, I mean, he can bring it in Jai's just so long. That's the thing about both of them. They're 6'1", 6'2" at the max, but their arms, you would think they're 6'4".
Yeah.
They're so long, and they can get off the force so quick.
A couple more for let you run. Watching the second half kind of unfold there, and they've got a great guard of their own in Josh Talbert, who could be in the player of the year conversation.
Absolutely.
I'm watching your guards and kind of their demeanor. They've got a little bit of a swagger and confidence, not in a bad way. Like, they've been through this now. They're kind of veterans of this. Have you gotten that sense during the year?
Yeah, I think they have confidence. I mean, look what we did last year. Why shouldn't they? As long as it gets everyone together, we'll use it.
Yeah.
We'll use it.
Fourth quarter, Lewis goes down, grabs his ankle. Were you holding your breath there? Like,
oh, yeah. Then they instantly scored after that, and I'm just like, here we go. But he's a warrior, and he's not gonna. He might not be able to walk out of here, but.
A kid that's been slept on, I think, for next level too. I know he's only a junior. So
Yeah.
Going to Tech for football.
Yeah.
Kayvon Lynchburg.
Yeah. I mean, I've coached 22 years. He's by far probably the best on-ball defender I have, and he sees the floor like no one else I've coached. I mean, he makes passes every game that you just are like, wow. And it's always.
Last one, thank you for your time. You're going to get to open up the region tournament, a game that could be like a region championship with Granby. You know about how good their guards are and how talented they are. Your thoughts on that early match? I know you'll do your homework and your scout work.
I already got some scouting done on them just because I wasn't sure where we'd end up, but their guards are great, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a packed house. Hopefully we can go to Scope again. That's our goal. Get to Scope again.
Should be a great one next Tuesday night at the Cox High School Falcon Nest. Cox Granby winner goes to Scope. Thanks so much. We'll see you there.
I appreciate it.
Great job.
Thanks.
So we thank Coach Bobby Wolfe of the Cox Falcons. They beat Kellum, which that was an important game, Ed, here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1, because it kept Cox in position to have a home game. It also knocked Kellum down from a potential 4 seed to a 6 seed. So here's your first round matchups. Let's make some picks now. You ready?
Bring it.
Region
Bring
6A, 1-8 Oscar Smith 21-1, First Colonial 8 seed at 10-12. What do you like? Is this your Salem upset of?
No, I love Mark Butts and his squad, and those kids go at it, but it's a little tougher. They're not going to lay down for Oscar Smith, but Oscar Smith's just so strong.
Yeah, and you can always make the case teams with not having the greatest of records are happy to be there. Whether you're happy or not, you got to be good to beat Oscar Smith and really on your game and playing at a high level, and hope they're not on their game. And I think FC might be able to make things tricky for a half. Just not enough firepower. I got Smith winning as well. 4-5 game, Cox 17-3, Granby 17-5 is the 5. What do you think?
You go first this one.
This is a tough
You go
one.
first on this one.
I can make a great case for both, and I've gone back and forth on this game like 25 times already. Cox is the defending region champs. They got great guard play. I'm going against Logic there, and they're at home. I just think Granby inside, provided he's healthy, Jariah Sweat could be the difference maker, his board play. Cox not being the tallest of teams. I think this is an overtime type of game. I'm going to go Granby in a thriller on Tuesday night.
If that's the proverbial 4-5 matchup, anybody can win it. I'm going slightly with Granby, and I'm like you. As I say it, I say, no. Cox doesn't make mistakes. You really got to play well.
Tell you what, though, should Oscar Smith advance, that's not an easy for whoever they draw. Cox or Granby could beat them. Cox beat them last year, and Granby has the weapons to do it.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a little tougher for Oscar Smith, but I'm Granby slightly over Cox. I'm like you, close game.
3 seed Lansdowne 19-3, the 6 seed Kellum at 16-5. Kellum's got another team that's very disciplined, deliberate, and they run their stuff well. Got a good guard in Josh Talbert. But I look at the regular season meetings, and they weren't close. Lansdowne won by 27, and they won by 31, and that could be pause for caution. Oh, by the way, Kellum eliminated Lansdowne last year, but that was at Kellum, and Mike Christmas was just getting back. And I think this team, they got Mike Christmas, who's very good, and they got a lot of weapons besides Mike Christmas. When you look at Christian Jones, Lamont Oliphant, D.D. Mobley, Donald Hand Jr., I got Lansdowne on this one.
I do too, but Norm will make it interesting, but I just think it's a little bit more talent. There's nothing against Kellum, but I think they will give Robinson and the Lansdowne kids some fits.
Yeah, depth is the deal there. And then the number 2 seed Woodside at 20-2, the number 7 seed Woodside at 12-10. Woodside had a lot of buzz to begin the year. They've kind of
Woodside, Western Branch.
What did I say?
You said Woodside is playing Woodside.
No, Western Branch is a 2 seed. Yeah, I'm going too fast here. Western Branch is a 2 seed at 20-2. Correct. Playing the number 7 seed Woodside at 12-10. Thank you for catching that. Woodside has a lot of buzz, or had a lot of buzz. Kind of not heard a lot about them lately. Any chance for an upset here, or you got Western Branch?
I can't go against one of my best friends ever in Paul Hall, and the team that's beating us, and it's Southeast.
Can't go against him. Period. So if he was playing the Golden State Warriors tomorrow,
I can't go against him against the Warriors.
You're taking Western Branch over Golden State.
I'm taking Western Branch.
That doesn't make sense.
What was that? Hear that again?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
I'm going with Western Branch, but I'm hesitant because Woodside is that scary. I mean, they've got athletes, they got size, they can shoot it. And they've kind of been up and down. They're a team that can get hot at the right time. And, of course, you've got to get hot now because you lose, you're done. I'm going Western Branch, but I think it's going to be a closer game than people think.
I don't see it. If you told me back in November, December, I'd have believed it. When I see it, I don't see it. We're almost out of time, so we got to run through these quickly. Who wins? Give us a winner for the bracket. You picked 6 already. Or no,
Smith to win the whole thing. I'm going to stick.
I'm going to go Lansdowne to win that bracket. 5. Who's your winner to win the bracket? I'm going Maury.
I said toss up Maury Green Run.
So you're going to go the other way. Okay,
I'm copping out because I'm in it.
Yeah, nice job. 4. Who wins that bracket? Left, you got Lake Taylor, Grafton, Lafayette, Heritage, Deep Creek, Kings Fork, Smithfield, Churchland. Who wins the bracket?
Kings Fork.
I'm going to go Lake Taylor. I could change my mind though. I might change it every day. And then you got Phoebus, Petersburg, Hope, Morecambe. I think Phoebus wins that bracket too. Girls. Real quickly,
PA.
6. Well, PA's won 5. I agree.
6.
Well, they're going to win 4 and 4.
Yeah.
6, I'm going to go, and we'll leave 3 out for 6. Boy, I'm going to go Lansdowne. I say that girls and boys do the daily double.
Who's the other top 3?
You got Ocean Lakes is the 1 and Western Branch. You going to go Western Branch? You said Western Branch boys against the world basically a minute ago. It's got Western Branch against the 85 Celtics.
I'm jumping on the bandwagon with you. I'm going to go Lansdowne.
For girls? All right.
Slightly over Western Branch.
Okay, they play in the semis. That'll do it. We thank our guests, Larry Ward of Norfolk Christian. We thank Vic Rosato of Lansdowne, J.D. James Daniel of Phoebus, Bobby Wolfe of Cox, all the callers, listeners out there, Alex Brooks, other side of the glass for pinch hitting today. I'm Matt Hatfield. You, sir, are?
Ed Young.
He'll be wearing his red Santa Claus outfit Tuesday night at Green Run. Go out there and see the double dip. High School Sports Talk every Saturday right here on your home for sports. What is it?
ESPN Radio 94.1.